This is your example for Monday, April 27th on how to do a report form balance sheet. So you have done typical balance sheets in chapter 1 quite a while ago in February, and they were account form, and now this one's called report form. So it looks a little bit different, and the biggest difference is the owner's equity section. So it says create a balance sheet in report form for Physio Central on September 30th, 2000 blank blank with the following information. So there's a list of your assets: cash, accounts receivable, office supplies. Those three would be your current assets, and they have to go first because they last only a year. Then your fixed assets would be the next ones. So office equipment, physio equipment, land, and building. So those ones will go next. They are not in the right order. When you do fixed assets, you want the longest lasting one first and then to go to the shortest. So I guess it would go land, building, physiotherapy equipment, and then office equipment. Between those last two, physio equipment and office equipment, doesn't really matter. You could argue either way for which one lasts longer. Then you'd move on to liabilities, which is those three. That's why I put a space and kind of segregated them. Accounts payable, bank loan, and mortgage. Those are in the right order because they need to go from short term to long term. Accounts payable will be paid off within a month. The next one, bank loan, could be a couple years, and mortgage could be up to 30 years. So they are definitely already given to you in the question in the proper order. And then these last three are the ones that are the most new to using in a balance sheet. So capital, drawings, and net income. So you just finished last week doing income statements where it told you the net income or net loss. So you had to take revenue and subtract expenses and figure out whether they made money or lost money. This time you don't have to figure out the revenue and expenses. They don't even give it to you. They just did the subtraction already, and it's a net income. So this business made money in the month of September. So if you want to, I guess you're going to need this in the future, but today for this example, I'm just going to flip back and forth between Excel and the question, which is on Google Doc. But I'll just show you where to find this in case you were looking. So in the stream, that's the main page where I post everything. Then in classwork, that's where I've posted just blanks of a whole bunch of documents that you're going to need. So if you go to balance sheet, it'll open it in Google Sheets, and I have a template where you put in the company name, you leave the words balance sheet, and you put in the date there. It's not formatted for adding and subtracting and stuff like that. You obviously just have to manually do that with a calculator and then type it in. I don't have blue lines and red lines put in there either, but it's not hard for you to figure it out. If you need a blue line, you click on the cell and you do borders, and then you just do the bottom border, and then you can pick the color right here, and you can pick the thickness of it too. Oops, it's right there. So the border style, thickness. So anyway, blue lines, red lines, I'm sure you can figure that out. Save this as a copy so that we're not all editing the same one all semester. So let's go back to this question, and then I'm going to jump to Microsoft Excel. It's not Google Sheets, but it's the same thing. So to speed up time, I already put the who, what, when, and then the assets go here. So they are in the proper order already. There are my 3 current assets, and then there are my 4 fixed assets in the right order. You throw all those numbers in there that you're given. You put a $sign on the top one because it's the first number in that column. And then you put a blue line underneath because you're totaling it. Then I'm going to scroll down and you do total assets right here. 244,285. So double red underline there. Sorry, it's hard to see when I'm clicked on that cell. Double red underline because it's a final total. And you're going to want to match that number when you finish your sheet at the very bottom of the page, which we're not there yet. Then you skip a line, and then you say liabilities and owner's equity. Then you do a subtitle underneath that says liabilities. Now the 3 liabilities, super easy, given in the proper order. You just write them there, total there, and you put those 3 numbers there. I didn't put the total yet because we're going to catch up now. So 157. Actually, I don't need a $sign there. 157,630. Okay. I don't know, sometimes commas show up in Excel and sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's how the cell is formatted, so you don't need commas. You're also not going to lose marks if you have them. 157,630. Okay, obviously those totals don't match because I haven't done the owner's equity section yet. Leave a space. Then you're going to write P. Ramdas is the owner. Capital. And then you're going to say September 30th. Actually, let's just do that and do a couple spaces. September 1st. I feel like I just said the 30th. I meant the 1st. So if I'm doing this balance sheet as of September 30th, I have to take the beginning capital at the beginning of the month. What P. Ramdas went into that month with was 85,260. So type that number in there. Then, okay, so there was a bunch of things that happened that month. They had a net income because their revenue was obviously greater than their expenses. And they also had drawings. If you go back to the question, there's drawings right there for 2,000. So yeah, they brought in 3,395 and they also paid themselves 2,000. So you have to figure out that difference and then figure out how to change your capital accordingly. So you're going to do add net income. And then you're going to put that number. So it's almost like another little column here. I just have to hit the space bar 1,000 times to get there. And I put a $sign. Then I put 3395.00. So that's the first number in that column. And that's kind of an imaginary column. It is here, but it's not, it doesn't have a line there. And I'm not going to make one because it's not supposed to have one. So I put my net income there because I don't want it in this column yet. And I definitely don't want it in this column because that's the total column. Then I'm going to say less. So it's not the word subtract, but it's less. That's the proper accounting term for it. You're going to call this now drawings. And again, you have to space bar over. Try to line those up, $2,000 underneath. Then you want to know if they brought in 3,395 and they took out 2,000, the difference is obviously $1,395. So I need to show underline here. So I'm going to click underline there. And anytime you add or subtract, you're supposed to show a single blue line. So if I was really fancy, I would make that blue, but it's just going to change my 2,000 to blue as well. So it's going to be real tricky because the whole thing's going to change to blue. So I'm actually going to leave it black. You can leave it black. So I just need a line there because then I know I'm subtracting the two. So the difference there is 1,395. So I put that difference in this column because I'm almost ready to tally it and put the actual total. So the title for this is called Increase in Capital. Whoa. Increase in capital. So that's because they brought in more money than what they took out. But if they would have had a net loss and drawings, you would have had a decrease in capital. So there's two different versions of this report form balance sheet, and I'm not going to be able to go through both. It's just if they have a net loss, you're going to put the word less, net loss, you're going to add those together because you're going double negative. You're going in the hole twice. So then you would put the total after you add those together right here, and you would call it decrease in capital, and you would subtract those two numbers and put your answer here. What I'm going to do in this case, because they brought money in and they lost money, I subtracted the difference. So they actually took their capital up. So 85,260 plus 1,395 goes here, and it is 86,655. So you put that total there. I'm just going to right align it. And then I'm going to call that P. Ramdas. Okay, so that's kind of nice. You don't have to do much. P. Ramdas capital, but that's now at the end of September because a bunch of things happened within the month. So that's good, but I do not have the totals matching. 244,285 does not match any number that I have down here, but liabilities plus my owner's equity, those two added together definitely equals 244,285. So you put that number there, and it needs a bunch of help with formatting, clearly. the dollar sign, and I'm gonna make it right align. And it's got the double red underline, and a title that needs to go there is called Total Liabilities and Owner's Equity. You can use the and symbol if you want right there, be fancy. Okay, so that just is the final total that actually matches the total assets. So make sure you have your red lines, blue lines in the proper spot. I am probably going to upload this also. So I'm going to upload this video, but then I'm going to upload this example as well, all to our Google Classroom so that you can actually do that and then like refer back to it time and time again. And then I will post your task for the day.